Hello everyone, I'm Anas Al-Ubaidi, and the topic or the title for this session or lecture is about the introduction, is about the CFR 21 Part 11 compliance, and this topic is part of the chapter that is about the introduction to clinical research and regulatory frameworks. And of course, this lecture and this chapter is part of the advanced ICH Good Clinical Practice Certification Course Program by CCRPS. Introduction. CFR 21 Part 11 is a regulation from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, that governs the use of electronic records or e-records and electronic signatures or e-signatures in the context of clinical trials and other regulated industries. This regulation ensures that electronic records are trustworthy, reliable, and equivalent to paper records in quality. So CFR 21, Part 11, which is about the electronic records and e or electronic signatures. Key points. Key concepts of CFR 21 Part 11 compliance electronic records. These are records created, modified, maintained, archived, or transmitted in a digital form. Electronic signatures. These are signatures that use electronic systems to authenticate the identity of an individual or of the professional. Now, basic principles of CFR 21 Part 11 reliability. So, reliability, security, accountability. Reliability electronic records must be maintained in a way that prevents alterations or tampering. Security, strict control over access and audit trails is required to track who accessed and modified the records. Accountability, only authorized individuals can access or modify records, and each action must be traceable. And here is a diagram on electronic records principles. Core requirements of CFR 21 Part 11 system validation. Systems that create or manage electronic records must be validated to ensure they function as intended. For example, a clinical trial database system must be validated to ensure data inputted by clinical investigators is stored and retrieved accurately. So audit trails, the system must generate secure, time-stamped audit trails that capture all challenges made to electronic records. Example, if a research coordinator changes the dosage data for a participant in a clinical trial, the system must log the change with a timestamp, user ID, and reason. Electronic signatures or e-signatures, electronic signatures must be unique to the individual and must include the full name, the signed date, and a clear statement of consent. Example, when a clinical investigator or principal investigator signs off on a trial report electronically, the system should record their username, date, and any additional authentication data, for example, biometric verification. Access control, only authorized personnel should have access to systems that handle electronic records and signatures. Example, a clinical trial monitor should only have read access to data, while study coordinators may have both read and write access, or study coordinators like the assistant CRC or CRC assistant or the CRC, the clinical research coordinator. Data integrity. Electronic records must remain accurate, complete, and unaltered. Changes must be logged, and data integrity must be maintained throughout the record's lifecycle. Example, if a lab result is entered into the system, no one should be able to change the result without a new entry and the original result being logged as an audit trail. Compliance risks and challenges. Non-compliance, failure to comply with CFR 21 Part 11 can lead to severe penalties, including product recalls or the invalidation of clinical trial data. Example, if a clinical trial data management system is not validated, any data discrepancies could invalidate the entire study. Continuous monitoring and training. All personnel must be regularly trained on how to use the electronic systems to ensure compliance and to understand the importance of data integrity. Practical application of CFR 21 Part 11 compliance. To fully understand how CFR 21 Part 11 works, it is critical to see how these principles are applied in real-world scenarios. Examples of application: system validation in a clinical trial when using an electronic case report form, ECRF for short. The system, or another name for ECRF, also EDC, Electronic Data Capture System, EDC system. The system must undergo validation to ensure it accurately collects, stores, and transfers patient data. Audit trail management. The audit trail ensures that when a clinical researcher inputs or modifies inpatient data in an ECRF or EDC, every change is tracked and retrievable for future reference in case of an audit. Electronic or e-signature authentication. Electronic signatures, e-signatures in clinical trials are often implemented using two-factor authentication, for example, password and biometric scan, to ensure the person signing is authorized. Next, we have the summary tables. Here we have a table on core requirements of CFR 21 Part 11, requirement description example. Requirements: system validation, audit trails, e-signatures, access control, and data integrity. Here we have a table on examples of how CFR 21 Part 11 is applied. Table on compliance risks and challenges, table on audit trail management, table on security and access control. And next we have the MCQs, or multiple choice questions, in order to revise what we have covered through this lecture. Question 1. Which of the following is not required for CFR 21 Part 11 compliance? System validation is required. Audit trails is required, so A, C are required. D, electronic signatures, e-signatures required. So B, access to records by anyone in the organization. B would be the answer, as access to records must be restricted to authorized personnel only. So unrestricted access violates the compliance standards. Question 2. An audit trail in an electronic system should include all of the following except timestamp, for sure A, user ID, for sure the user ID, who did the data entry or the modifications of the data, the ID of the person or the person, identification of the person or the professional. So user ID, B for sure. Modification reason, C for sure. D, access duration. The duration of the access is not required by the audit trail. So D is the answer. So while timestamp, user ID, and modification reason are required, access duration is not part of the necessary audit trail for CFR 21 Part 11. Question 3. What is the primary reason of system validation under CFR 21 Part 11? Answer is B here, to ensure the system functions correctly and data is reliable, as system validation ensures that the system functions as intended and maintains the integrity of the records it handles. Question 4. Which of the following is an example of an electronic or e-signature under CFR 21 Part 11? Would be B, a fingerprint scan coupled with a password for signing trial documents. So B is the answer. An electronic signature under CFR 21 Part 11 must be unique to the individual and authenticated using secure methods such as two-factor authentication. Question 5. What is the most important aspect of data integrity under CFR 21 Part 11? Would be C, data changes should be logged with the clear reasons and time stamps, as data integrity is maintained by ensuring that all changes to records are logged with the clear reasons and timestamps, preventing unauthorized or unrecorded alterations. And here we come to end of this lecture. Thank you very much and goodbye.